Knockouts and KOs starts now.
Ooh, what up, though? It is another Tuesday. This is Fight Week, man. We got it going, and we got a debut episode for you tonight as we've got Dmitriy Salita coming through. If you checked our stuff out at the last Tony Harrison fight, you'll see our chat there. Dmitry, we appreciate you taking the time on the day of the press conference, man.
Great to be on. Exciting week. Exciting time
Hell
for
yeah,
boxing.
man.
Exciting time for boxing in Detroit and Michigan.
Hey, man, we talk with Tony. Our chat with Tony is dropping tomorrow. We got plenty to talk to you about with that as well, man. And, I mean, that's as good a place as any to start with this stuff, man, is you guys have been all in the news with the news of Claressa's fight dropping and all that stuff. I know you guys had the press conference today. Before we get to talking about the fight itself, talk to me about the energy surrounding this one, man, because it looked like it was pretty hype over there at the press conference.
It was a great press conference. Great way to announce this big fight in New York City for the undisputed heavyweight world championship of the world between these two giants, Claressa Shields and Franchon Cruz. Each one of them had a table where everybody sat, and Claressa had her table filled with belts. Franchon had her table filled with belts, and it was really the first time in Claressa's career where her opponent, seemed to have as much hardware as she had. So it was respectful but intense, and feels like Franchon is going to leave no stone unturned in making sure that she avenges that rematch.
Dude, that was one of the biggest things that popped out with that, too. Like, right off rip, when I talked with Tony, Tony said the same thing. He was like, the cool thing with this fight is Franchon's not going to be like some of these other girls who maybe, I don't want to say maybe you're scared of Claressa Shields or, maybe a little bit, starstruck by the moment. I feel like all the titles that Franchon has on her end, too, and, like, the vibe that she brings in, I just feel like this is going to make for maybe what might be one of Claressa's most exciting fights to date, in recent memory.
Yeah, I believe it has all the ingredients for that. Similar to Bernard Hopkins, Franchon Cruz, after losing a pro debut, went on to make history, to win a world title, to become the first ever women's undisputed super middleweight world champion, to come back and regain that title by beating Shadeja Green, who's with MVP, who has been getting a lot of notoriety and really has been making a lot of noise trying to get the fight with Claressa. But Clarissa's goal has always been to fight the best, the biggest and the best fights. And as we stand here today, the biggest and the baddest opponent, most proven, is Franchon Cruz.
Yeah, you spoke about I was just going to say, you spoke about the level of hardware. When you're talking about finding somebody of an opponent of that level, that's got to be really hard to match the level of belts and quality opponent when you're talking to somebody like Claressa Shields.
And the interesting thing is, all of them had the WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF belts, and then both of them had the ring belt. So I know there's been a lot going on now about, the different sanction bodies and the ring belt and the new ranking system and Zuffa boxing, all that stuff. But they had everything. They had the ring belt and they had all the 4 major sanction bodies. So it's really intense. It's going to be a great fight. A lot of pride is on the line. A lot of history is on the line. If you look at the men's, the undisputed heavyweight world championship is always big. And when 2 Americans that are bona fide contenders / champions fight each other, it makes the world stop. And this really feels like one of those events, announced in New York City, but the history is going to happen in Detroit at Little Caesars Arena, February 22nd, live on DAZN.
Hell yeah. Well, dude, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about too. I've seen some of the interviews that Claressa's done recently, and you mentioned MVP. She said MVP was somebody she had talked to too. Can you tell me and walk me through a little bit about through re-signing Claressa, because when I was in the press conference after her last fight, she said she didn't know where she was going to go next and what exactly she wanted to do. Now I see that she's not only re-signed with you. We got Win Records is involved as well. Can you talk me a little bit through that process?
Yeah, and it was very challenging for me because I've been with Claressa since the beginning of her career. So we've extended our deal several times, but this is the first time that she was really a free agent and out there meeting with people. So, but really, I really believed that even though we have a friendship and we have a relationship, we had the best deal for Claressa. It really was the deal that we presented for her was really the best deal where she'd make the most money, have the biggest impacts, the biggest brand, and individually cater for her. So MVP is a great company, but it's about MVP. It's more focused on MVP, the brand of MVP. Matchroom is a great company, obviously focused on Matchroom. We are focused on the fighter, and you can see it in this deal with Win Records. It's a very unique, and I believe first one of a kind deal for her because that's what Claressa needed. That is the type of deal that Claressa needed to make strides, to break through, and to be content with taking the next steps forward. So I was very happy to make a deal with her, to form an official relationship with Win Records, which is a great company with Pat Booth and Ruben Branson. So yeah, very excited about taking the next steps. This is the first fight of our deal. I really believe that Little Caesars Arena is going to be sold out. We're going to have a big hip hop star walk loose out. It's going to be a phenomenal electric atmosphere on February 22nd. And with that, our goal for years has been to revive big time boxing in the city of Detroit. And it's really happening. We have Tony Harrison fighting December 20th at Fox Theater. We have Joshua Pagan fighting in Grand Rapids on January 22nd. Not announced yet, but will be announced officially tomorrow. Then February, Claressa Shields at Little Caesars Arena. So every month, December, January, February, big fights on major platform, The Zone, with championship fighters, both local as well as national and international, making a name for themselves and giving the fans what they want to see.
I love to hear that with JJ Pagan, man, as him being a past guest of the show, man. It was a great chat with him. If you guys missed that, make sure you go check that out. As I said, we've also got a chat with Tony Harrison getting ready to drop tomorrow. With that being said, you talked about reviving boxing in Detroit. Talk to me about your thoughts as you go into another fight at the Fox after having the last one we did a couple months ago, man, because I was there and it was a dope look, to see and everything. And being from Detroit, the Fox is one of the most iconic venues here too. Tony talked a lot about that in our chat. So talk to me about getting to be back at the Fox.
Well, Fox Theater to me is one of the most beautiful venues, period. It's one of the most scenic places that I've ever seen, and to have boxing there on a consistent basis, I really believe is going to elevate boxing not only locally in Detroit but also throughout the country. When you watch it on television, it's very special, it's very scenic, it's beautiful. This fight night on December 20th is going to be incredible. In the main event, WBC and WBA middleweight world title on the line with Kane versus Scott, fight of the year candidate. First time around, it's going to be as exciting, like a version of Women's Gotti Award. Exciting fight. Bryce Taylor, highly touted American heavyweight, fighting Michael Coffey, who has been a gatekeeper in the heavyweight division. Then Sardia Simmons, two-time national Gold Glove champion, heavyweight champion from Flint/Saginaw, Michigan, continuing to climb up the ranks in the heavyweight. And the non-televised portion features some of the best local prospects from the city: Cameron Pankey, Husana Mashadi, Maclet, so many talented, great fighters. And again, Detroit, in my opinion, state of Michigan, has produced some of the best boxers in the world. Even today, national champions, amateur USA boxing champions, Gold Glove champions from the state of Michigan, from Detroit. And we need to give these great athletes and these great boxers an opportunity to showcase their skills close to home, build their story, tell the story. As you saw with Tony Harrison, he was at the Pistons game last week. He was on local Fox morning show today. He's going to be at the Red Wings game tomorrow. So we're really building a grassroots, high-level initiative for the boxers that we promote to connect to sports fans of the city of Detroit and really let the world see. I mean, we're really building a world-class boxing program in one of America's best cities.
Yeah, it speaks a lot to what you're doing, like you mentioned with the Fox Theater and stuff like that. Just being able to put Detroit back on the map for boxing is such a good thing. And not only that, like you say, with the whole deal with DAZN, it's really helping put Salita also as a actual contender in the boxing sphere. You know what I mean? Especially re-signing Claressa Shields, I feel like really solidifies your guys' promotion.
Well, we have some big plans for 2026. We are one of the few companies that are able to take fighters from the beginning to world championships. I mean, Claressa is a great example. Jarrell Miller, Jermaine Franklin, Otto Whalen, Vladimir Shishkin, Georgi Khanargashev, Nikolai Potapov. I mean, the list goes on. And these are guys that whose talent we have identified early and have progressed correctly and properly through the ranks, developed them, told their stories. And now as the boxing is kind of going into the next phase, with HBO and Showtime being there for decades, but no longer in the sport, we need to rejuvenate and innovate to make sure that the sport grows bigger and wider, and that the fighters get the opportunities that they deserve, and the fans enjoy the sport.
Hell yeah. Well, we talked a bit about Tony, man. You got to tell me again. We were in the building for his last fight. Now that you've had a little bit of time away from it, and as we head into this next fight, before we talk about his opponent that he's got this Saturday, tell me, what were your thoughts on the return of Tony Harrison to the ring that we saw at Little Caesar the same night as Claressa Shields?
So I know Tony for a long time, since before he turned pro. Remember when I used to train at the Crown Boxing Gym, him training with Emmanuel Stewart, and really seeing this welterweight phenom, middleweight phenom at that time. And seen him progress through the ranks, seen him win a world title. Tony wanted to come back. He wanted to fight again. And the Harrison family, those that know, is super bad boxing gym in the heart of Detroit. It's really a bedrock, and his family has been so significant in building world-class boxing in the city of Detroit. So for Tony to not afford a Little Caesar Arena, I felt like would have been, a sin. Would have been something that I wouldn't want to have to deal with, right? So I felt very happy about the fact that he made his comeback on that big card and he fought a good fight. And again, we're bringing him back slowly but surely, keeping him active, giving him the right level of opposition. And I believe that Tony can walk his way towards the title, hopefully walk him into a big fight that makes sense for him. I don't think he should fight young upcoming guys, but he could fight guys like Errol Spence, who's on a similar trajectory like Tony, and bring big fights to the city of Detroit and have him headline a show at the Little Caesar Arena sometime next year.
So now I got to hear your side of it. For those of you guys who will get to check our chat with Tony out tomorrow, he told us regarding his opponent that he's got this time out. He said it didn't matter who the name on the list was. He said he trusted LJ and everybody over there at Superbad, and he trusted you guys to put it together. And one of the things that he talked about was that the reason why he went with Salita was because he knew, with you being a former fighter and things like that, he knew that you knew the game, and those were some of the things that brought him to know that you were the right person for the job. So as we go into talking about this opponent that he's got this Saturday, what made him the right guy for Tony to step in with?
Well, I mean, Tony needs to sharpen his tools and stay active and fight guys that are getting him around. And I believe that that this is the perfect fight for him. Again, it's a new venue, an opportunity for him to showcase himself. Steelers fans in the city of Detroit, but the world is going to see it live on the Zone. So it's a really special night. And I went to see Tony train about 2 weeks ago, and I walked into the ring, and I saw pleasantly surprised by what I saw in the ring. I mean, he looked young, he looked experienced, he looked sharp, and I really think that Tony is going to put on a great performance on December 20th.
So we talk about good performances. Corey and J-Bone didn't get to be with me at the last fight, but they're going to be there with me this Saturday. We had Olivia Curry on the show a couple weeks ago to talk about this fight. I got to know, give me your thoughts on the first fight with Kay Scott and Olivia Curry, because that was a fucking war.
It was a great fight. And women's got it worked, for lack of a better example. And both of them, when we offered them to fight again, they said when and where. We told them Detroit and Fox Theater once again. And this is a true international fight with Kay Scott coming from Australia, Olivia Curry coming from Chicago. And again, Detroit serving as a center for big time boxing. It's a great fight, and I believe the world is going to pay attention.
The first fight was potential fight of the year. Don't forget that.
I agree.
So we're in line for another banger.
And the other great thing that I want to say is that you guys are a Detroit-based podcast, and unfortunately, for a long time, there's not been enough local talent to cover it. And now there is, and you have world-class fighters that are fighting in the city of Detroit that are coming on your show. Young kids, young aspiring amateurs that train at super bad boxing gyms, train different gyms throughout the city. They know that one day, if they win the nationals, if they progress, they can fight at the Fox Theater, they can fight at Little Caesars Arena, they can make a lot of money, they can build fan base right here at home. They don't need to go to Vegas, they don't need to go to New York. They will, if they want to, when they have to, but there's an opportunity to build a real fan base and a real boxing program here in Detroit. And I really believe with everything that's going on in the country, what we can do is something that's unique, that will be an example to everybody throughout the country. And we have a lot of plans and a lot of initiatives. I'm very grateful for our partnership with 3-on-3, who was also involved with the Pistons and the Red Wings. And as we've seen for this fight, the promotion, the cross promotion has been incredible. We just want to pull in those great sportsmen of the city of Detroit to follow boxing.
I can't argue that at all, man. It's been cool, like we talked about a couple times already, talking about Fox Theater just in and of itself, and then bringing the Claressa Shields fights back to Little Caesars. That reminds me a lot to what boxing was like when I first got around the sport. As you talk about, seeing Tony before he was a pro, I also watched Tony fight when he was fighting in Golden Gloves over at Gibraltar Trade Center and all those kind of things. So to see boxing kind of be back on the pedestal, as we also cover MMA and all those things as well, to kind of see boxing start to get prominent again in the city has been a cool thing to see. Another thing I wanted to ask you about is number one, we're not complaining, obviously, with us being in Detroit. I love that Claressa keeps fighting at Little Caesars, but talk to me. I know a few fights back, Claressa was adamant that she wanted to start exploring other places to do fights, whether that be Vegas or wherever that might be. But as you said, the last fight, having the likes of Rick Ross walk her out, you had Ice Bear Bezel with Tony. You guys are doing big numbers over here in Little Caesars. Obvious, other than the obvious to her being from Michigan, what makes Detroit and Little Caesars the right place for Claressa to keep fighting?
Well, Little Caesars is one of the most beautiful venues in the country. You look at great fighters like Terrence Crawford. He's fought at home many times. You look at Jaron Ennis, who's an upcoming guy. He fights in Philadelphia pretty much all the time. So we were very close to making a deal for the fight in Atlanta, but they just didn't work for this time. We were close to making a deal with the Barclays Center. And just, for these big fights to happen, things have to line up. They have to line up with television, with opponents, with many different energies and factors. But I'm sure you understand going to making this big fight. And, Claressa wanted to come back to Detroit for our first fight of this big deal. It's going to be spectacular. The performance Her walkout is going to be incredible. It's hard to imagine that it could top Rick Ross.
I was gonna say she's had some pretty dope walkouts. We've been to what the last 4 or 5 years.
With the drum line. How do you top that?
This is going to be very special, and hip hop and boxing have lived closely together, and many have tried to incorporate them. But I really believe that we're getting close to making it work in a way that has never worked before, and to really taking the sport to the next level and combining these different energies consistently. We just signed with Rice together with.
Was going to ask you about that.
With Win Records. He's going to make his pro debut on December 20th. One of the most sought after amateur boxers from Burston Fieldhouse and Flint. Very talented fighter, and I believe that he's going to have a great run. And boxing fans will also see how our work together with Wood Records and incorporating boxing and hip hop, is going to help him progress his brand and take him to the next level.
Having somebody like Papoose, as part of Win Records and stuff like that, and trying to meld that that synergy between hip hop and boxing, man, how does that help you guys do that? And how does he mesh with you guys on the boxing side of things?
I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, listening to hip hop music and training at Star City Boxing Club, and I've been around hip hop artists really my whole life, and has been a fan of the genre of music, and Papoose has been a diehard boxing fan, trains himself at least in his gym, knows the sport really well. So when two people speak the same language, and I don't mean English, I mean culturally and athletically, it really makes things easy. So it didn't really take a lot of explaining about how things can combine. And Papoose is really the glue to make this deal work with Win Records and Salita Promotions. It's very helpful to have someone that really understands the sport, is a fan of the sport, and is ambitious and anxious, excited to make big things happen. So I believe that he's a big asset, and I'm very grateful to have him as a friend, as a business partner, as we take these new steps with Claressa and with the other fighters we promote as well.
Oh yeah. Well, you already mentioned another thing that we got to ask you about. You being the boxing aficionado you are, you got to tell me, what are your thoughts on the newly announced retirement of Bud Crawford, bro?
Wow.
I think that it's the right thing for him to do. He's done many great things. Possible that he may come back at some point. I like the Black Album from Jay-Z.
Classic.
But he's one of the all-time greats. What can you say? He's an incredible fighter, and what he's done inside the ring is, second to none in this generation. So you got to respect him, give him his glory. Thank God he made a lot of money for his win against Canelo Alvarez, and wish him all the best. He's come to many of Claressa's fights. Great guy. We welcome him back. And hopefully he'll be there in February supporting Claressa once she fights Franchon Cruz for the undisputed heavyweight world title. But it's great and healthy to see fighters retire on top, with a lot of money in the bank, with a sense and idea of making a life outside of the ring post boxing. So I love him as a fighter, and I think he made a great decision. And I wish him all the best in his retirement.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, there's no way to going out undefeated. Yeah. Go ahead, Corey.
I was just going to say the same thing. Essentially, It's really hard to argue with where he ended up in his career. My only, I guess, critique, and it's not even really that, is the sense that he just became arguably one of the most high-profile. Not that he already wasn't, right? He was incredible, but in the very casual boxing fans' eyes, he just became arguably the top guy. And I feel like there was definitely a couple other matchups to be made made in that top realm of boxing. But that being said, hard to disagree with anything you said there, especially with the retirement on top, with health and wealth. I mean, you can't really argue with that.
Boxing is not basketball or any other sport. It's a dangerous sport. And
Absolutely.
how much more can he accomplish? He went up, he started 135 pounds, went up divisions, beat one of the greatest fighters of all time in Canelo Alvarez in one of the biggest events of all time. So, so retire on top, you know, it's like a popular TV show, like you know, Seinfeld is an example. I know it goes back some bunch, but like a great show that ends on top. People want more,
Yeah.
but you know, but sometimes you got to close the curtain and live life. And I believe that he gave his life to the sport. He gave us a lot of great moments as boxing fans. He opened a lot of doors, and I really wish him all the best. I think Andre Ward retired on top. Floyd Mayweather retired on top, and I much rather see that than a great fighter fighting past his prime and losing to guys that he would never lose to, you know, just a year or two, you know, before that loss. So it's great to see legends remain legends. It's great to see, you know, great fighters retire on top, healthy, wealthy, still ambitious, and still being able to do more, but just stepping back at the right time. So I'm a big fan of that, and again, I wish him all the best. I look forward to having him at our.
Oh yeah. I got one more question for you on the boxing side of things, man. On the same night that you guys are doing what you guys got going that weekend, we've also got Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, bro. I got to know, what are your thoughts on this fight? Because as a guy who, before we ever got to combat or to MMA or jiu-jitsu or all that stuff, I started with boxing just like you. So I always want the boxing guy or MMA guy or whatever to win in these style things. But I think it's unarguable, and most people would say, look, man, Anthony Joshua is probably and by far his most toughest test yet, and I'm talking about Jake Paul. How do you think he's going to fare against a guy like Anthony Joshua?
If this is a real fight, he's going to get crushed. It's not even. I mean, they say in boxing, a good big man beats a good little man. But first of all, Anthony Joshua is a lot bigger and stronger. He's a lot more experienced. I mean, it's not even close. People talk about Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. This is like in a different that's not even close of a comparison to Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. I mean, I think the first big shot Anthony Joshua lands, the fight is over. I really do. With that being said, you have to respect Jake Paul's desire to be great and to push at the envelope and to looking, you know, it's like looking inside the barrel of a gun. And you have to be, you know, crazy. And I mean that in a good way, because all fighters need to be crazy in a good way to step in the ring. But you have to admire that. You have to admire, even though he's making a lot of money, and you can say all the things you want to say, but like people say, you know, would you jump off of Brooklyn Bridge for $1 million? You know, and all these crazy things. Like, so he's actually doing it. You know, he's jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge. So I don't see how he has any chance to win. And like Eddie Hearn said, I think the best case scenario for him is, you know, is if he gets hit with a half clean shot and goes down and whatever. I mean, if it goes past 3 rounds, I'll be very surprised. Again, it's a real fight. It's a real fight.
Right.
It is a real fight based on what everybody says. So yes, I believe that Anthony Joshua by KO. With that being said, he is trained by Theodorus Chambers, third from Detroit, who's a very good world-class trainer, and he's gotten a lot better. And I know that he does real training camps and boxes with real sparring partners, and really is learning the sport. And I saw this clip of him hitting the bag. It's been kind of trending, and it looks really good. I mean, from a boxing technical point of view, I mean, his footwork, his hand positioning, his back and forth distance is very impressive. So, very impressive to where he came from to where he's at now. So, regardless of what happens in the ring, as an athlete and as a person, I respect Jake Paul for stepping into the ring, and I wish him all the best. And I wish him, a safe return, as they say, a safe landing.
Hey man, you can't. The one thing you know with us covering pro wrestling as well. Shout out to Honey from Wrestling with Honey that's going to drop in here in a little bit. But I've gotten to be there for a lot of his brothers' wrestling stuff as well. The one thing that you can't take away from the Paul brothers and through getting to know more about them, they're athletes. You can not like them as much as you don't like, man. But like the things that I've seen Logan do inside a wrestling ring and Jake be able to do, like you said, to just have the balls to take this fight in the first place, number one. Because Anthony Joshua, like you said, big dude. Look what he just did to Francis Ngannou, man. Like if you get caught by a guy that's that big and that skilled as an Anthony Joshua, it's crazy. But it's crazy for Joshua too, because if he does the Fury fight again and loses, that's bad.
Well, even Francis Ngannou, I think, would be an enormous challenge for Jake Paul. It's like
agreed.
Francis Ngannou is a different world for Jake Paul. However, if you look at Jake Paul's history as a person and you look at his YouTube stuff, I feel like he became famous by being a daredevil, right? By being all these things that people felt compelled to see because they were so risky. So he's a risk taker. That's who he is. And this may be the biggest risk of his life. Again, I respect it. I know how difficult it is emotionally to get into the ring, certainly against someone as great as Anthony Joshua. And I have 3 guys fight Anthony Joshua. So I've stood next to him. I've seen him. He's a great guy. He's a great ambassador for the sport of boxing. I'm a fan of his. But when he gets to the ring, he's a mean, lean, muscular knockout machine. And
yes, sir.
I believe that's likely to happen on Friday night.
Hell yeah. Well, let me get you out of here on this one, man. As I mentioned, we also talk pro wrestling. Shout out to everybody who's watching this. Says we got about 175 of you guys in here. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, like button, share button. Make sure you subscribe to the Zone and make sure you check out the fights this weekend. Check Tony Harrison out at work. But we also cover the pro.
Wait up. I want to add to that. Those in Detroit, go to Ticketmaster or 312% and get your ticket. It's really selling well. I believe we're gonna have close to a sellout crowd.
Hell yeah!
And be part of history, because this really is the rejuvenation of world class boxing in the city of Detroit, and really unlike anything else that's happening in the country today. So come and be a part of it and support the young talent, the seasoned talent, and the world champions that are putting it all on the line December 20th, live on the Zone from the Fox Theater in Detroit.
You love to hear it, man. Shout out to past guest of the show, Savannah Tini, who also did her thing on the last card as well. Like I mentioned, I always love to get this take from a lot of the fight guys that we had on here. Tony told me he was a big fan of it in the 90s. You got to tell me, did you ever get down with the pro wrestling side of the world?
Me?
Yeah, were you ever a pro wrestling guy at all? If so, who?
No, so I my family immigrated here from the Soviet Union. So I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I used to I used to watch a little bit back in the early 90s, mid 90s era, WWF.
Yep. Same as Tony.
Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon. I watched the docuseries on Netflix about Vince McMahon. Very interesting.
Wild,
yeah.
To say the least.
Ric Flair,
The Undertaker, Macho Man Randy Savage. All those are great characters. And believe it or not, I believe that boxing, you see some of that in Europe. The way Chris Hamed is a great example, extreme example of that.
I remember him.
Where fighters come out, with where it's a little bit of a show. And I think that in today's day and age, sports and entertainment is a show. So people want to see a show. And even though everybody knows that these fights are kind of staged, right? It's not a real. It's an athletic exhibition, but it's not an athletic competition. So, and people still tune in and they like to see the movie, like to see the drama, and I really believe that the themes of that we can use in boxing.
I love to hear that too, man, because I say it all the time. There's such a crossover in between combat sports and pro wrestling. I mean, even just from boxing, you talk about the like of Mike Tyson was in there. Floyd Mayweather's done stuff over there. You can go down the list, and there's so many of them, both from both boxing and MMA. So it's always had a thing. And sometimes even with a guy like a Conor McGregor, for example, man, sometimes combat sports does pro wrestling better than pro wrestling.
That's right.
I mean, think about how enormous they are. They go on these tours and it's sold out. New York, Detroit, LA, Vegas, etc. Other towns in the United States. It's incredible. The brand and the popularity of these stars is incredible. So there's a lot. One of the reasons why I watched that Vince McMahon documentary is because I'm always interested in the business of sports and interested in how these different successful businesses market and extend their brand. So we definitely have a lot to learn from WWE. They've done a great job, and I don't really watch it as a fan. I watch it sometimes. I mean, just
from
as
a promoter, guys.
From a promoter's point of view, it's not really my cup of tea in terms of. I like real athletics. I mean, real competition. And again, nothing against WWE. It's fantastic, but yeah, I respect what they've done with the business, and if we can combine and have some cross promotion opportunities, that's always fantastic.
Hell yeah, man. Well, we appreciate your time, and I can't wait to get down to the fights this weekend, man. I'm looking forward to seeing Tony and everybody do their thing. Shout out to past guest of the show, Olivia Curry, as well. I'm looking forward to seeing that rematch. Feel free to throw it out one more time, everybody, where they can check it out, get tickets, all those good things. Again, there's about 200 of you guys in here. If you guys are in the Michigan area, which I know a lot of you guys are, get you a ticket.
So let me ask you a question. Are we live on YouTube?
We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook.
Amazing. So always great to communicate with the fans. Come check out boxing December 20th, live on the Zone and from the Fox Theater in Detroit. Ticketmaster 303 presents. It's really going to be a phenomenal night of boxing. 11 live fights for those that are going to be in the building. See you guys December 20th. And again, thank you for covering boxing. Thank you for covering Detroit and for showcasing, the future of boxing.
Hey, man, thank you for giving us the opportunity to do so, man. Like I said, for anybody who's watching, our interview with Tony Harrison drops tomorrow. We got a lot of good things to talk about in that one. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Dmitry, man, safe travels back to the mitten.
Thank you so much.
Hell yeah, man.
Have a good Hanukkah, brother.
Happy Hanukkah. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Boxing in the D, baby. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Always
is, man.
To show out too. Detroit, we're gonna show up and they're gonna be in mink coats, suits, buffs.
You heard Tony. You got to put the buffs on, man. Put the buffs on. Bring the minks out. Where the Rolex is at.
Hey, I ain't got a Rolex. I got
like a Ric Flair joint, real quick.
I ain't gonna be wearing no Rolex, but it is. You know what it is.
It is too. That's one thing I didn't get to necessarily get across, but yeah, man, in every one of these Salita promotions, whether that be the Claressa Shields or whoever is necessarily fighting on the night, we've seen some insane crowd reactions to boxing being brought back to the mitten in the way that it has. So gotta love that. Like you say, it's full dressed up.
There's always a buzz in the D, man. There's always a buzz in Detroit, and it's specifically like it's specific and it's like super impressive because as much as I hate to say it, like boxing has kind of flown under the radar the past couple of years. Whenever it's here in Detroit, it is still the crowd is bananas. Every time we were in Flint for the Claressa Shields fight, sold out. It looked like it was sold out anyway. we had a bird's eye view in the press box, and the crowd just is wild for boxing, man. It's still there. So
yeah.
You love to see it, man. And like I said, you love to see the people get dressed up, and only in Detroit, well, maybe not only in Detroit, but specifically in Detroit, you love to see the way that we get dressed up and show out for these fights, man. So I'm excited for Saturday. Gonna be a good time. Time.
You got to tell me, man, after chat, we're going to get to John Cena's last match here in a minute as Honey joins us over there from in Philly. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and all that good stuff. But how you feeling about that rematch with Curry and K. Scott, bro? I feel like that's going to be a banger, dude.
Well, how do you like live up to the last fight? You know what I mean? Like we talked about it with her. It's potential fight of the year. So, I mean, we need more fireworks. What are we thinking?
For me, at least, whenever you have a fight like that in the first one, right? It not only is it hard to live up to, both people come into it with this expectation of only thing I have to really do is change X, Y, or Z, and now the whole thing's in my favor. Whether that be applying more pressure, applying less pressure, managing range, whatever the situation entails. But that being said, for me, I feel like rematches almost never play out the same way as the first fight because both fighters are trying to change things. It's not just like we're going to come at it with the same direction and hope for the same outcome, especially with the draw, Right. So I don't know. It's always interesting though. That's for sure.
Do you think it's best? I mean, you're a fight guru. Do you think it's best to scrap the whole first fight strategy, like everything you play off that, just start from scratch, start from a whole new book? Like, what do you think as far as that?
No, because the tendencies and stuff like that are still going to be there, right? Like the fighter still showcases the way that they throw their punches, the way that they set up their footwork and stuff like that. That's still all present. The only thing is you're going to be dealing with different strategies from their end. So on your end, you have to try to counter that with not necessarily different strategies, just be aware of what you're getting yourself into, I guess is how I would word that.
Being aware of what you're getting yourself into, John Cena should have watched out for that motherfucking sleeper.
Somebody should have warned her.
We've got the second half of our show getting started. We got our friend Honey from Wrestling with Honey and Women's Wrestling Talk and all those things. It's been a minute. What's good, yo?
What is up, guys? What's up, brochachos? How we doing?
Good. We were just talking about some boxing, about to watch these two ladies throw down. We got a rematch situation station this weekend. It was fight of the year last time. And I'm glad it's not me getting punched in the face. And then we got wrestling style entrances from what Dmitriy said and all kinds of stuff. We even got him to talk some wrestling. So we're already all warmed up for the wrestling side of things. What's new in the world of Honey?
Nothing much, man. Just remaining a busy bee in the honey pot. Just trying to just continue to make some good content. Hanging with Women's Wrestling Talk. We just had our WWT award show, our last show for the year before the holidays and stuff. Yeah, man, and getting some merch going and stuff like that for the new year. So a lot of cool things in the works. But yeah, man, just been working hard and just keeping up with everything going on because there's so much shit, man. It's so much.
Dude,
there is
never ending, right?
Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me back, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, always. When are we need to take another like wrestling trip or some shit soon. When are you coming to another show, man?
Dude, I've been going to like local stuff, but I've been trying to keep it local. The holidays always get a bit tight,
Oh, dude, it's been tight, period, with how these ticket prices right now.
And well, with that as well. I mean, don't even get me started with that. But yeah, it's just, just trying to keep up with the times, trying to rack up for the next big one and see where we could go from there.
I feel it. Well, before we get to talking about the wrestling, I got to tell you about our newest sponsor. Yeah, that's right. That's Michigan Street Unlimited. If you guys check out what's on your screen, you'll see they've got all kinds of dope cars in the fleet. If you're a car fan in southeastern Michigan, you got to check them out. Shout out to our guy Cody Caudill for getting on the team and being part of the Knockout the Three Counts team. They're at all kinds of different shows all through downriver. They got 7 cars that are going to be in the Autorama. And then you got charity events, all kinds of stuff. So if you're a car freak, which if you live in Detroit, is probably a good chance you might, make sure you do me a favor. Check out Michigan Street Unlimited. Hit that link. If you got a car, check them out. Tell them Knockouts and 3 Counts sent you. But with that said, there's a lot of shit going on in the world of wrestling, and I haven't talked to you in a while. So I need to know, what are the thoughts on the end of John Cena? What the fuck?
Can you believe it? It just like came and went. Like it just happened so fast, but it was fun. I will say it was a fun ride. And, you know, the man had 23 years of putting in that work and, you know, just putting in that hustle and creating great moments for us to remember, leaving a great body of work behind and, you know, a great legacy. And he ushered a way for the next, you know, batch of future superstars, you know, and it was really awesome. It was bittersweet. I will say that, no pun intended, considering, honey.
So you got to tell me, what are your thoughts on the actual match? Because I hear a lot of people hating. I see a lot of people saying, oh, the match was trash. And look, man, I don't feel like the match was trash. Like, I don't understand. Like, what did you think that John Cena was going to do? Number one, John Cena's never been like this big high flyer guy. So if you thought that there was going to be all these high spots, you're dumb. Number two, I mean, the guy's in his 50s. Let's be honest here. And then number three, he's going against Gunther, who just beats the shit out of people. Like, that's what the guy does. He's not flashy. He don't go and, I mean, he tries to chop people's nipples off. But, you know, I mean, where's the lie? You're laughing, but where's the lie? Because
there's absolutely no lie. And I know
I'm just saying, I'm putting a bet on it now. At some point, somebody's going to lose a nipple from Gunther. But hey, dude, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, because I've seen that dude wrestle everywhere from the Knights of Columbus here in Livonia to WrestleMania and everything in between. So to watch that guy's rise has been nuts. What did you think about the finish? Were you okay with him tapping, or would you have rather see him go to sleep?
See, so this is the thing. One thing that I definitely made sure that I did as soon as this match was over was pretty much stay away from socials for a couple of days. And I was just like not going to go find myself going back and forth with some, you know, some know nothing Mark that's just gonna rip everything to shreds and overanalyze.
Yeah, tell him.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
tell him.
Just for those, there was 2 things that happened that night and in that match, throughout that match, that whole time. One main thing was to remind everybody what they forgot about Gunther, and that he is a destroyer and he is meant to be a top heel. He doesn't give a damn about being no fan favorite, clearly. And what it's looking like is they're making him that guy, you know, that main top heel that they need. Because there really is not many besides you got Drew running around, and we know Seth and his, you know, snaky ways. But in this case with Gunther and the audience, what people didn't understand about that match, and I think why everybody was going so crazy over it, is because they didn't understand the storytelling behind it. And the finish, you know, we did a watch along on Women's Wrestling Talk as well, which was a lot of fun. And to be able to witness history in the, you know, a historical moment, John Cena's last match. And what else did you think was going to happen with someone like Gunther? He's meant to do this. And of course, this is going to redraw him that heat that people had longer given him for a while. People stopped giving him that heat for a while. You know, like people started considering him just to be, oh, another favorite, like in betweener. Like, no, he's not that. He is a destroyer. He is there to he is the ring general for a reason. He is called that moniker for a reason. And the finish, as far as the finish, another thing that happened was what people didn't understand that happened in that moment when John Cena tapped. That wasn't John Cena giving up, because we never have I ever seen anybody smile
That was
before
the
they
Star
tapped
Wars.
out.
He hit him with the
Did it
Obi-Wan,
with a
bro.
smile on his face. It wasn't giving up for nothing marks. It was letting go. He gave us all he's had, and we knew that the last time was now. So let's not act like it wasn't going to happen with someone as big as Gunther and the way they needed to pretty much recreate that nuclear heat that was lost upon him, because after a while, with losing to Sammy after a long intercontinental reign, then Jey Uso tapping him out, and it's like after a while the luster of heat that he used to draw kind of fell off with the audience. And Triple H's job as creative is to bring out the best in these superstars, and Gunther is best when he's a heel. And a lot of people were lost upon that. So I absolutely loved it. It was drama filled. We knew it wasn't going to be, like you said, any of these crazy spots. It didn't need it. It didn't need it. We just needed Super Cena, and the whole night was amazing. Honestly, the night as a whole was really great. And it
badass from start
ushered
to finish.
in the way Cena would want. Like Cena, people forget also about Cena. They forgot things about Gunther. They just as much forgot about things about Cena. Cena is probably one of the most selfless superstars in WWE history. He will stop talking to any press about anything, but first he's talking to that Make-A-Wish kid. He doesn't, you know what I mean? And anything else that he has to give is going to be left in that ring. And he left it all in that ring, and he did it beautifully. It was amazing. The whole roster coming out to, acknowledge him, and also with the video package they set up for him, seeing his emotion and stuff. I teared up. I ain't gonna lie, I teared up on live a little bit, but it was a great, beautiful moment throughout the whole match, and it told two different stories in two different ways. And if you missed it, you
need to go back and watch it. That's what's good about it being on Peacock, man. I was I put it this way, I was at Mitten Muay Thai doing my thing behind the microphone, cage side or ringside. Wasn't a cage this time, it was ringside, but I was doing my thing ringside, for these fights, and I managed to make it out with no blood on me. It got on me, just not on my shirt this time. But I had to, when I got home, I had to stay up and watch it, bro. Like I mean, again, I think everybody knew, or at least thought, that Cena, well, besides J-Bone, because J-Bone's still in his feelings because Cena lost. But
we'll get there. Hey, don't fucking.
I watched the whole night. I watched the whole night twice.
I had to watch it twice,
back to back twice, just to make sure I re-understood everything, because it was just like,
I'll tell you,
this was pretty much graduation day for a lot of these superstars, or audition day. Like this is.
We said that.
Between Sol Ruka, Obafemi, when they started with
and they all out though. Like Sol Ruka made herself a star. Like I've already been saying for a while. I mean, dude, she's not hard to look at. And then with those moves that she's got, I mean, she's the whole package, bro. But her beating Bailey, of all people,
was huge.
And then beating her on a Saturday night's main event like that, dude, that was dope. I'm not gonna lie, part of me kind of thought that like Zarya might screw her over or something like that. I kind of was almost waiting for something like that to happen.
I thought
because at some point they're gonna beef out, and then they're gonna fight each other, like it's coming. But yeah, dude, Sol Ruka absolutely killed it. I loved the way that they were able to incorporate the Soul Snatcher, and even that didn't end up being the finish, and it being something like that. I kind of almost feel like it's kind of all like leading into what we've already been kind of seeing with Bailey like kind of like losing her mind, like with those promos that we had seen. I think eventually she's just going to snap off and kill everybody. But, shout out to Sol Ruka. I thought that was dope. But then the other thing that really struck me about that whole show was like the pacing of it, right? So we started with Cody and Oba, which it makes sense, but I was kind of surprised by that, with that being the WWE champion and all that stuff. But to start with him, and then for the last match to go on before Cena to be Javon and Leon Slater versus AJ and Dragon Lee. Holy shit. That match That match had me say "oh shit" about 5 times.
Mhm. Literally.
That match was a banger.
Every single match was a hit, and then to even get the treat of R-Truth and Miz, and then Joe
that was
Hendry.
awesome. Yeah.
Like I was like,
Yeah.
what timeline did we step into?
That was
this
something
time?
I didn't even know I needed
whose
that. Man.
timeline is this now?
Yeah.
Like, where are we at now? Like this is where we're at. Like, am I watching? Like for the last couple of weeks, even with the tournament and the NXT stars showing up on SmackDown and Raw, and Lash Legend moving up and things like that. It's just like, am I watching NXT? Or what am I watching? Like, am I watching like old shades of like,
right.
Even with, Tommaso Ciampa bringing back, they're bringing back a lot of their original theme music too. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So we're still alive and kicking, but there's NXT graduation this year, pretty much.
I
like it.
One thing I was really digging that day was everything around it. Not just the paper, the PLE, I want to call it PLE, not just Saturday night's main event, but everything around the world, from baseball to the NBA, the UFC, everybody, CBS, they were tweeting, congratulations to John Cena. The entire world
globally
was focused on John Cena. And I think it's such a cool thing, because 10, 15 years ago, we don't get none of that in wrestling. They don't give a damn about us. The fact that Fox News is out there doing a live special on the career of John Cena, you know what I mean? It's really cool to see wrestling come to the forefront and be respected as it is like that. But as far, I did exactly the opposite of you, honey. I went right on social media because I want to see all these motherfuckers. What the fuck just happened?
Everybody was losing it because I knew already that's what was going to happen.
I didn't say anything, right? I just want to see, because I want to take it all in and get everybody's reaction. But I was on the other side of it at first. I'm like, damn, I can't believe they just did them like that. But then I'm thinking, like, you know what? Think about the history. Think about what wrestling really is and how it really goes in the tradition. And you know what? It did play out perfect.
There's a bigger picture. There's just a bigger picture.
And it took me a day to be like, come on, dude. What do you like? You've been watching this your whole life.
Like, if I'm Cena, I am so elated and content and happy with what I left in that ring.
Yeah. I don't think he has any problem. In fact, I bet it was his idea to go out that way.
Oh yeah, he had he had partial creative control in like the order of the matches and how he wanted it, how he wanted to put over the
and he's the guy who earned that. I feel like Triple H probably pulled him aside and said, listen, you earned everything you want from this at the very end. So however you want to do it is how we're going to do it. Yeah. And Triple H is taking the punch on the chin for it, because he's everybody booed. Everybody hates him now. Like, it's his fault.
But he loves it.
He loves
Triple H loves it though.
Yeah. But I think Bubba Ray said it best.
Out to the damn bus, bro, and we're throwing bottles at this motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, man.
Bubba Ray said it best on Busted Open, man. Now we are so invested to see who's going to kick Gunther's ass, because that's who we're cheering for next. And I think that's something that John Cena knew. He knew Gunther is the super villain, so whoever's going to knock him off his throne is going to be that next big guy. So we're going to be really invested in whoever that's going to be.
I think we already are invested in a few prospects in the future,
Yeah. I love how they had Otis doing the interview, and he was so fired up about what happened. I love Otis, man. I wish we did more with him, but
the Otis and Mandy storyline was entertaining as fuck. Dude. It was so stupid, but it was entertaining.
I love everything about Otis.
That was great.
That was entertaining as fuck. I don't care who you are, dude.
Justice for Otis and Tozawa, damn it.
Yes.
I put him in backstage segments. Put him in the ring, man.
Hey man, I'm with that, dude. We need like Maxine to just like smack the shit out of them and then like send them to the dungeon.
Put them in the dungeon or something.
Hell yeah, let them come back.
Dude.
Maxine's out here. Maxine's out here killing it. That's all I know.
It really is.
My only problem with that is I feel like they rushed it a little bit. Like in the 1 week,
a year before,
in 1 week, all of a sudden she can ankle lock Natty though.
Well,
all it takes is a week to learn an ankle lock, Kyle.
Well, no, I mean she was on learning,
and then get it on somebody like Natty, right? That seems about right.
For a minute though, like but behind the scenes.
I know, but I'm just saying, like I think they could have got more mileage out of it if they would have like dragged it out a bit.
I feel like maybe there's more to it. There might.
I hope so, because I like the vignettes are dope. Like I'm not arguing that though; they've been dope. Like I hope there is more to it. I hope you're right. We got people in the comments. I see shades of Vader in Otis if they change the present. I'm totally with that. And I think he does the Vader bomb if I'm not mistaken.
Vader is my favorite big man of all time. Little fun fact.
One of the
best. Vader time.
I got a Vader time watch sitting around here somewhere.
Wow.
Hey, Teek's got a Vader mask, bro. He performed in a Vader mask.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
Teek was rapping in a Vader mask. Shout out to my guy Teek Hall. All right. Now we got to get to some of the things that we saw on Raw here. Okay. Number one, Gunther's promo was fucking cold-blooded.
It was what you needed.
It was probably some of the best 10 minutes to start Raw in a very long time because, man, those people were losing their shit. And he didn't have to say nothing.
Yeah.
Again, you want to shout out Bubba Dudley. He almost said exactly what Bubba said on Busted Open, and it was fucking great. To go out there and be like, I made John Cena quit. And that's all, and all there is to it, and get him booing. You know, I made the man that never quits tap out like a little bitch and then walk out.
Like what? Like
cold-blooded, mic drop, and then he kept going back to just add some shit to it, man. Like
he kept going back and forth. I'm like, yo, they're milking this, and you know what? Rightfully so.
He's a super heel,
There's no
man.
better person to do it other than Gunther right now, besides somebody like Drew or something like that. But
that would have been a good one.
But Gunther, Gunther in this regard, that's exactly how you needed to start the show. As soon as I heard the music go on, I was like, oh my God, we're just gonna rip that band-aid off now, aren't we? It's genius. It's absolutely genius because you know you're gonna hear those boos. I still don't think, because I was thinking along the lines of, you know, very reminiscent of Roman Reigns after he beat the Undertaker streak, or not streak, but after he beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania and whatever and things like that. He literally didn't have to say one word.
Yeah. They booed the shit out of
him. I still feel like that heat was a lot bigger than Gunther's, but it's a close second, very, very close second. Because I wouldn't have been surprised if I started seeing shit flying in the ring.
Yeah. What do you guys think is next for Gunther as far as booking?
I think the way they're building him up, like, think about it now, and this is significant. So he was the one to take out Goldberg. Mm-hmm. Now he's the one to take out Cena. Mm-hmm. He's taking out Brock Lesnar, dog.
Yeah.
He's going to be the one to put Brock's ass out.
I think that's endgame.
I think that's where we're headed for, like you said. I think that's endgame. I think now that Cena's gone, not that Brock, you know, was like him being around was based on Cena, but I think you want to like build somebody into a star to be the guy to take out Goldberg, Cena, and Brock.
Like,
huge.
That and you know what's so funny, because I wanted that match. That match was supposed to happen technically because we were getting there, and there was a moment, and I can't remember exactly when or what show it was on, but Brock Lesnar and Gunther have been face to face before, where Gunther booked it.
I think didn't they face off in the Royal Rumble at one point?
I think it was something like that.
Something leading up to it.
Gunther
maybe they just got a face-to-face type gig, and Gunther was like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Gunther didn't want that smoke, and
not yet.
No, but
he says he thinks he's going to take out AJ too. Woo.
Well, considering what happened on Raw after the segment when he was leaving and he was getting berated by everybody in the locker room and Adam Pearce calling him an asshole and things like that, when he was going to his car, AJ Styles was sitting on it, and he was, you know, he was, you know, pretty much looking him up and down, scoping him out, like, you know, you're dead wrong for milking that in everybody's face, and you're just being an ass and everything like that. And Gunther over here doing the "you can't see me" before he drives off. I was like, oh my God.
Makes you want to scream, motherfucker.
I was like, this man knows what he's doing. And you know what? I applaud you, Gunther.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I don't know as far as the timeline, but I was liking the idea of Gunther. Obviously, he's the career killer right now, but we still have a legend killer on the roster whose career could be kind of coming down to an end eventually. What about Gunther and Randy Orton?
Oh, yeah.
And Randy Orton's kind of final tour.
Mm-hmm.
That could be another one. if that's what we're doing, you know what I mean?
Randy, AJ. I'm trying to think of, anybody else who's on there. R-Truth, I saw even mentioned something like that.
Yeah. He kind of hinted around that too.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Is there any truth to that rumor of the Brock Lesnar thing of him retiring at what was it, SummerSlam in Minnesota next year? Is that what it was?
I think that's just dirt sheet stuff, man. And that's one thing.
Well, it came from John Cena. John Cena mentioned on, I don't remember if it was the Joe Rogan show or the Chris Van Vliet show, but he kind of said like he's going to end it in Minnesota, and everybody knows the next big one in Minnesota is SummerSlam. So that's where it snowballed from. But I don't think there's any confirmation, or I don't think it should even be a rumor. People just say stuff, whatever. But yeah, but how the wrestling world is. We just run with it.
Brock and Gunther is the match that does need to happen eventually.
That's got to be the match at Mania, bro. That's it.
That definitely
needs to be Brock and Gunther. I'm saying it here now. I want to see that shit.
This
Brock
coming Mania, you think?
Yes, bro. Yeah. Fuck else you gonna do with Brock right now?
Well, I'm saying if we're gonna do that at the end, and if it's gonna be the end of Brock's run, I don't want that. If Brock's
who says that's the only time that they fight, though?
Well, true.
They could. There's a Rumble in Riyadh, and Brock loves the bigger stages.
Yeah, them big boys gonna get down in the Rumble.
There's gonna be a lot of them getting down in the Rumble. It's gonna be this Rumble's gonna be fun.
Saudi. You think so? Do you think this? Because so the people that I've talked to, they think this one's gonna be a little watered down, like as far as surprises and big moments because of the fact that it's in Riyadh.
Probably, but I think it's still going to have a fun element to it because you get to recreate stories or recreate, pretty much rekindle some history and, some people getting face to face that we haven't seen in a minute, go face to face, there's between the men and the women, but I think it's still going to be a decent enough Rumble to the point where we understand what the results are going to give us for the road to Mania.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of money to be thrown around out there, man. So I don't feel like
look, they got money. Money grows on trees over there, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Money grows on trees over there, bro. Didn't you know?
They just printed in their house.
Apparently.
I mean, I'm just calling it. I'm just calling it like I see it, man. They man.
Telling you, man, they got it.
Shit! Huh? Look at that. I'm catching up on NXT.
Speaking of catching up on NXT, so do we think it was a botch, or do we think that was what was supposed to happen? For those that don't know what I'm talking about, we have a new women's North American champion in NXT, in Thea Hale, and it looked like that wasn't how that was supposed to go.
That's a little sketchy. I didn't get to watch it. I'm gonna watch it after we get off here.
I literally just got past that match, and I'm like, oh wow, she won the title, but I don't really understand it behind it because I was just, I'm on here.
And on the first one, she does though.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
I feel like,
and I was like, I thought that match happened pretty quick too.
I feel like that wasn't supposed to happen like that.
Well,
they even said it on commentary. I mean, who knows? Maybe they could just be fucking with us, but I don't know. That looked like that wasn't supposed to happen like that. Because also, it wasn't like anybody like hit their finish or anything. Like you said, it was quick into the match. I just don't think that that's how that was supposed to go.
Somebody's getting fired,
or at least getting a good talking to when they get back through there. What
like
that? What's that?
Right.
All right, before we get off the wrestling stuff, past guest of the motherfucking show, Austin Theory is your masked man. Thoughts? Honey, you can go first.
Well, that's one reveal. I feel like there's more than one. I feel like there's two. And I'm sticking with that. But I knew one of them was definitely Austin Theory. Had to be. For some reason, I just felt it. Because I'm like, we haven't seen that boy in a while. He just, kind of fell off the face of the earth for a little bit. And now he's resurfaced himself as the masked man. But I don't, there's still a lot to be said about if there's more than one. So
if you think there might be more than one, how do you think they would incorporate something like that?
Well, I think that Austin Theory is a messenger. He's being pretty much
He's
told
just
to
the one
do.
since they said you had to tell him who it was.
Mm-hmm. Basically, you just had, you're gonna throw people off the scent because people were like, "Oh my God, he did the curb stomp. Was Seth really faking his injury this whole time?" No, we know Seth is not. We know Seth is gonna be out till April, and he'll be back by Mania. But in this regard, this is probably some doing of Seth's from afar, because knowing how he can be and how manipulative he can be, he's probably taken in some, younger talent that'll be able to help fulfill his duties, being that he was betrayed by the ones that he tried to bring up in Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. So yeah, but Austin Theory, that was pretty cool for me.
Did you
I was
dig
just
the
like,
new
oh well,
shaved
there
head
it
look?
is. I was
You
like,
like
there
the
it
shaved
is.
head look on Austin Theory?
Say again.
The shaved head look, and everybody was giving him shit on social media. Like,
Yeah,
he had great
I mean,
hair. Why did he?
let the boy live, man. He's back.
Right.
Everybody was wondering where he is. He's
Let
back.
the boy live.
Hey.
Like whether his
Look,
hair was there or whether it wasn't
they
there,
would have
would
been
it
making
matter?
fun of him when he ripped off the mask and his hair was like messy, like Chris Farley style. Then they would have really been ripping into him. You know how
Right.
the internet is, man. You
Would have
can't
been
blame
really crazy is if he grew it out and had it like real grungy and like long and stuff like that. Now I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
we're taking it to a different level. But Austin Theory definitely had a look in his eye where there is a message to be sent, and it's not.
I'm with
just
you on that, dude. I hope that Austin Theory can get like a real crack, because we've said this since, I mean, this is before the days of J-Bone and Corey, but even when we got to have Austin Theory on the show, dude, he was one of the hot prospects. We had Austin Theory on the show right before the Evolve 10th anniversary special, like right before he went to WWE, winning.
Wow.
And even then, like, that kid stuck out in front of all those names. And we're talking about, this is back in the days when Evolve had like the likes of, you had Mustafa Ali and Adam Cole and Swerve. And I mean, you could go down to Josh Briggs, past guest of the show. I mean, you could go down the list of all the different, Cedric Alexander, all kinds of different people that went through Evolve, and he stuck out. Ethan Page and Austin Theory, Darby Allin and Austin Theory. There was a lot of dope matchups for him, and everybody looked at him as a blue chip. But for some reason, when he got to WWE, I mean, I think that they looked at him as a blue chip, but it never really kind of like took off the way you had hoped it would. I'm really hoping that if Theory's going to stay around the vision, that maybe some of that Paul Heyman dust can rub off on him and kind of elevate him up the way. Because, I think most of the time it depends on the guy, but I mean, we've seen it happen like when Cesaro was with Paul Heyman, where it doesn't necessarily always work out for the people that are with him. But with a young blue chip guy like him, I would love to see what we can do with Austin Theory. I'm interested to see where that ends up going.
I'm
Dude,
interested to hear who do you think the other masked man is?
You think he's in the vision with Seth, or you think he's in the vision with the Bronze, Logan Paul, and Paul Heyman?
I think it's
because they got like a Targaryen, Civil War thing going on, the greens versus the blacks and everything like that. So you know what I mean? Like,
I think he's a Seth guy, to be honest.
So you think that there's going to be like two separate visions when Seth comes back?
Yes, because Seth's not going to stand for for what happened,
Yeah, but you don't think he'd not want to just kind of dismantle what he built?
He will with his two new
vision.
Revealed masked men. Well, we
Who do you think the other one is?
Oh, I don't know. It's far fetched.
You said there's two. Come on now.
There is two. It is far fetched, but it's only because I use my imagination and my fantasy booking side comes out. Who I would like it to be, Montez Ford.
I fucking knew she was gonna say that. I was gonna say
we've been hitting that for a while.
For some reason, I just feel it. Like we were discussing this on Kayfabe with Will, and
Shout out to my guy Will Ferrell, dude. When the fuck is this guy gonna come on the show, dude? He's been telling me since
I
Vegas
know.
he wants to come on.
Well, we need to get he needs to get on this show. We need to get y'all. You want kayfabe? We need.
I mean, he's only been telling me since Vegas. I said, let me know, motherfucker, and we'll make it happen. Vegas is about to be a thing again next year already. So I'm just saying, Will, what the fuck?
Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. Let's run it back. We gotta, y'all
let me know, and I will be there. Shout out to everybody that's throwing in those reactions. Says we got about 220 people in here right now. We appreciate y'all watching.
But yeah, I think Montez Ford, because he got, I don't know why, one of those masked men had more hops, and the one, I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was Rey Mysterio or whoever that he beat outside of the ring, jumped outside of the ring, and then threw them in the ring. But it was the way he picked him up. And for some reason, I just felt Montez Ford's like energy from it, because he was just really into doing it. And I'm like,
bounce, man.
Yeah, he just puts a little extra pep in that step. You know what I mean? And I don't know, but I feel like that would be a cool look for Montez Ford to break out, especially since we've been talking about. At least I know I have in a lot of discussions talked about him going solo for a while now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's been a thing for a while. I feel bad because, I feel like out of the two of them, there's always they use the Marty and Sean reference. Man, I love Docs, dude. I don't know what they would do with Docs after that, but dude, I at some point I feel like it's coming for Montez. I don't know if this is going to be it or what that looks like, but I'm with you. I think at some point Montez is going to have a singles run in him. All right. I said that I would end the show giving you guys my thoughts on Stranger Things. I have gotten stuck.
I've been waiting all night for this.
Go ahead.
I've gotten stuck down this fucking wormhole, dude. I tried watching this shit 3 different times and never could get into it. And now I'm into season 4. And
I was just about to ask, what episode are you on?
Yeah, dude, I'm into season 4, and dude, it's got me hooked. But man, they do so much stupid shit in this show. I find myself so often being like, "What the fuck? What are we doing, bro?"
What do you mean?
Why?
I would do exactly
when that kid Dustin has the damn Demogorgon on his fucking head, and I know, let's go take it around the kid that we just had to yank that bitch up out of him.
Well, yeah, dude.
That makes a lot of sense. We just got the demon out of him, and what am I gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna just hide it under my hat. And then I'm going to go walk right back around the kid who we were trying to get it away from in the first place. And then act like, oh, shit, I didn't know what happened.
Hey, man, if I had a Demogorgon as a pet at any point, I'm definitely wearing him on my head.
Yeah, probably got all that nasty-ass slime shit all over your head, too.
Hey, but hey, you know what? Nobody's going to mess with you. Nobody will mess with you if you pull out the Demogorgon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Okay, so season 4, what are the last things you've seen?
What's Max's brother's name?
Billy.
Fuck. Yes, dude, watching old boy get possessed and then watching him get taken out, dude, I was like, damn, this dude just got smoked. It was like when you go in there with the final boss and this fucker shot him in the chest, got him in the face, they just ripped this dude apart. I'm like, damn.
Mind Flayer is brutal, man.
Really is
brutal. That
I don't know if you got a chance yet to check out the soundtrack to this whole series, dude. It's actually really incredible. It's got
fantastic
80s vibe. Just man, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I had tried to watch the first season when it started, but then I went a couple episodes in, and after that I was like, it's not growing.
That's what happened to me. I watched it a couple times. I was like,
But then I just went full throttle on the binge, and I was just like, oh, wow. Okay, now I get it, because I was paying attention to a lot of things. It's also the dialogue. You got to listen. There's hints in a lot of the things that they say, and a lot of things in the background and stuff like that, Easter eggs and shit. A lot of nods to the 80s movies and the soundtracks and stuff, which is so dope. It's just one of the best shows ever. It's one of the best shows ever written for nerds, for sure.
Well, the crazy thing about it, too, is how it's like this little hole in the wall. Like it reminds me of Goosebumps a lot, to be honest. But like it's in this little hole in the wall, fucking Hawkins, Indiana, fucking like little hole in the wall place that nobody had ever see. And then once you get into it, and they got like this big secret, like they're opening the door. Once the Russians showed up, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, are we all just playing dumb to the fact that these?
That's why it's there. It's Hawkins. We don't know about Hawkins,
bro.
Yeah, but you haven't seen nothing yet.
We ain't seen nothing. Yeah, wait till that's my Christmas plans. I ain't worried about opening gifts.
I'm not
all
doing
that.
shit.
At 8:00 on Christmas night, nobody talked to me because if you ain't in my living room, me and my kids, and wearing our Stranger Things pajamas that we.
He said we're in our Stranger Things
that I'm getting for Christmas.
Get your pizza and your Eggos.
Yes. Bro, let me tell you this, though. This is a cool little thing. There's a store. I live right by the Great Lakes Crossing Mall. They have a store in there that sells nothing but Hawkins gear, nothing but Stranger Things gear. I'm talking from slippers to like little radios. They got the radio station T-shirts. They got everything. So I'm hooking it up for Christmas. We're doing Christmas night. We're getting pizzas. We're getting snacks. It's going down. Turn all the lights off. Phones off. No iPads. No nothing, dude.
Gonna be running up that hill on December 25th.
Yes,
dude. I've heard a bunch of different renditions of that song, though, dude. Here's the thing, though. So, I think out of all the characters so far, I think the most, the one that gets me the most. If you guys could pick like any of the powers that they got in this bitch, like what kind of like powers are you gonna have? Because 11 be throwing motherfuckers, all right.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to see. Like, I can't wait for you to be caught up. I need you caught up by Christmas.
I can't even say much because I know exactly whose powers I want. But
what kind of
powers
he
hasn't revealed
to tell me the damn story.
We're treading spoilers here without.
I don't want to tread spoil. I don't want to ruin this for you. I wouldn't want to ruin this for me if it was me. You know what I mean? Like, but
there's a moment. There's a moment at the end of. There's a moment that you're gonna see at the end of this first little like edition of this last season. You're gonna see a moment, and you're gonna literally jump out of your seat like, "Oh shit!"
You're gonna be like, "What?"
You might even stand up and cheer. I'm just saying, you'll get there.
I was up at 3 a.m. because that was Thanksgiving. I had to prepare food and everything like that. I had watched like the first 3 episodes. And then I had to take care of everything. And then it was like 1, 2 in the morning. And I was like, I am going to watch the rest of this shit. I'm going to stay up. Oh my God, at 3 a.m., 3:15, whatever, it hit me that moment. And I was just like, it took everything in me not to fucking scream and wake up all my neighbors because I was losing my mind. I was like screaming into my pillow. I was like, holy God. You're still in for a ride. Just keep following the rabbit hole because we're still following one too. We just need you to catch up to us so that way we can,
I know I'm late to the party.
And that's okay. That's totally fine. But now I will say this: who are your who's your favorite character that we could work with that? Like, who's your favorite character that you run into, even if they're not around?
I felt bad for Hopper going out, but I don't know. I think so far, if I'm honest, like as far as like been the most intriguing with it, I guess it would have to be. I guess I'd have to say 11, dude. Now that like I'm into the part that she's like grown into like a real person now and all that kind of shit, and then like watching how she basically came out from like a lab creature pretty much to like to now like a full-fledged like thing. And
11 stories wild.
Yeah.
Well, shit. And then when she meets up with the sister or whatever the fuck you want to call that, and then I'm also convinced that Will's mom, you're like cursed if you go out with Will's mom.
That's true.
Facts, if you go out with Will's mom, you're probably gonna die.
Facts,
my gosh.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
You might die, or just some really fucked up shit's gonna happen to you. Is what's gonna happen.
I can't wait for you, Corey. Do your kids get into Stranger
Corey
Things?
won't watch no TV shows.
I'm a lame ass, and then my kids also are lame asses as well. I've tried to get them into a couple shows, but honestly, the last couple shows I've watched aren't kid friendly to begin with, and that was years ago. And to be honest, like right now, I'm watching to see who wins the Emirates Championship for the night. I'm a sports guy through and through. For me to sit down and watch a full series, I get lost when it comes to see, like you were talking about earlier with the details and stuff when it comes to actually watching these shows. Like me and my old lady, when we first got together, we would get those shows. We would do that with like the Sons of Anarchy and all that type of stuff. And it was always this like, oh, hey, do you remember this? And I'm answering questions and I'm trying to like be her notepad. And honestly, I'm good. I'm good. I don't feel like I'm missing out on that much. Props to you guys.
Trying to say without saying it is it's Robin's fault.
I respect it though. I respect it.
Hey, I respect the fact that you brought up Sons though. That's still, we had a heated debate on my show not too long ago. We were doing top 5 TV series ever, and Sons, like somebody left out Sons, and I wanted to flip the table. It's just, you can't leave
Sons
out
was
Sons.
dope, dude. And then Mayans was okay. It wasn't nowhere near as good as Sons, but Sons was fire.
My big issue with
Sopranos,
TV
I don't know if you guys are Sopranos fans at all, but if you want to invest in the show, that's when you gotta like really, really invest into that, because Mafia, Mob Dog, Tony Soprano's a G. That's my number 1 show of all time right there.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, y'all. I'm talking to my dog. Sorry.
You're all good. Well, man, we have covered pretty much all the bases. Honey, what's next in your neck of the woods?
Let's see. What's next in my neck of the woods? I'm just trying to get through the holidays and enjoy another healthy new year. This will be pretty much right there. It's right there. This will pretty much be my 3rd year getting into doing all of this. So I'm looking forward to continuing to grow. And the YouTube's going to be popping off in 2026 as well. So Wrestling with Honey podcast on YouTube's going to be jumping off in 2026. I do my watch alongs every Friday on SmackDown, and just going to continue being the Honey Pod. That's all, just trying to stay gracious and continue to make some good shit.
So you got merch coming too?
Yes, that too. Wrestling with Honey merch. This was a design that was like a logo. It was actually drawn first from a former coworker of mine. Shout out to my boy Justin who did that. It looks like me pretty much with a microphone and headphones. You can't really see it that well, but I have them in black and white. So when the time comes, send me those addies and I'll send you guys one for sure.
We got to get you wearing some knockouts and 3 counts joints as well, man.
Absolutely.
We got to make that happen. Well, all you guys who are knockouts and 3 counts fans, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, because a little birdie told me that there might be some heat coming this way. We've been doing some stuff with BKFC, been doing some stuff with this, might be doing some stuff with ICP coming soon, and then AEW is going to be in Chicago soon. So I'm just saying, maybe you should hit the subscribe button if you like AEW, which if you're watching us, there's probably a good chance that you might like AEW. And if you like the fights, make sure you come say what up, though, down in Detroit this weekend. Fox Theater, we got the fights. Salita is going to be there. Tony Harrison's going to be there. You heard Tony Harrison say it in the clips that we brought out. I got the whole chat with Tony Harrison dropping tomorrow. You heard the man. A Tony Harrison fight is an event. You got to pull out the Rolexes out. Bring the minks out. Pull the buffs out. What's good, Detroit, this Saturday? It's going down at the legendary Fox Theater. Knockouts and 3 counts will be in the building. Make sure you guys hit that like button, share button. Make sure you go check out our sponsors, Michigan Street Unlimited. Until next time, and in the in-between time, peace. Don't go into the upside down.